Amun. How you doing, kings and queens, gods and goddesses, brothers and sisters? Even though I'm not normally going to be saying that, I just want you to know I normally will not be saying that. Strictly because I believe you're all gods. But then I started thinking, in my thinking and consciousness, I said, no, I can't say that everybody's not gods. Because simple fact, because some of you are beings and some of you are human beings. So then I had to reconstruct that over again. But from time to time, I'll throw it in there a little bit. This is part 2 of the segment of the black rabbit, the black man and the black woman. What's happening to the relationship? What's going on? Bear with me. So, this is part 2 in the segment of the black man's guide to understand the black woman, but mainly that I need to talk about and discuss black love. This whole segment is about black love. Point blank. So I use Shahrazad Ali, great scholar. If anyone who knows her, she has her books, The Black Woman's Guide to Understand the Black Man. Excuse what's going on here. Here's the other one, The Black Man's Guide to Understand the Black Woman. I've rung these books out before. This is not my first time me bringing these books out. I'm going to continue bringing these books out. I'm going to continue bringing these books because y'all, I don't know you all per se, but I'm going to tell you for what I see. You understand? I'm hoping that you get my message. I'm hoping that you sharing it. Really, I really hope that you are, because this is why I dedicate myself. I'm the messenger. I find the areas that's a problem, and then I discuss it and then give it to you. Do your research. I need you to do your research. Research on yourself. Research on who you are. Why you can't commit to this one beautiful woman. Recap on the first one. Basically talking about commitment. Receiving. You giving yourself into your woman. Your woman's giving yourself to you as a man. You are her God. She's your goddess. She's your heaven. Don't talk and live this. Don't regurgitate words and pretend that you love her. All because you can sleep with this woman anytime you want. She's supposed to feed you. It don't work like that. Be a man of God on this earth. Understand the commitment. What you afraid of? Like you're supposed to sleep with a bunch of women. That's not going to help you. I'm telling you. It might help you in skill-wise to a certain degree, but you'll never feel that true, magnificent essence of love. But let's get into it right now, because I could talk all day. I want to get into Shahrazad Ali, as she breaks this down. While a lot of our black mates, male and female, got problems. Let's get into it.
Organization that is for women and children only. They say they don't allow any men in there. I didn't have time to deal with it, but I talked about them real bad. That's the silliest program I've ever heard of. You know them women that had men if they got a bunch of children. They need fathers. They need protection. We hear about the drug problem that we have in our projects across the country. It's one of the major places that we have a drug problem. You know, we talk about the great strength that we have as black women. Well, the welfare department don't rent government apartments to single black men. Those apartments belong to black women who are allowing this to go on in their home. We have not looked at what part of the responsibility do we share. Yes, black men sell a lot of drugs, and a lot of us black women get the money from them drugs and buy some of these fancy clothes we wear. Drive around in some of these fancy cars. He is not doing these things alone and without support from us, whether they are good or bad. See, we have a lot of power. We are very strong women. I'm saying that we're using our strength in the wrong direction. We're using it to tear our man down, tear our nation down, instead of building it up. Having an education and a job does not necessarily mean you have a successful life. I keep telling black women that to raise a child, they say, well, I provided with food, clothing, and shelter. That's not raising a child, that's maintaining one. To raise a child, you need a parental coalition of a man and a woman. We have sons who, by not having a father in the home, they don't know how to respect women. They take on the black feminine female emotionalism. They become bitchy, they're doubtful, they're indecisive, they can't make a decision. They don't know what to do about being a man because we can't teach them that. We don't have that knowledge. We have daughters who grow up in a home where they don't see any affection, where there's no man there. They go out into the world and try to mate. They don't have no idea how to be no woman to no man, how to function in a house with a man, because they haven't seen it. Most of our children, just like us, get all the information we have about how you be with a mate off television. It's the only medium that shows us anybody being together. Those rules have not worked for us. The white woman's liberation movement, we don't have anything to do with that. We have not been under the control of the black man for over 500 years, so what do we have to get liberated from them from? They haven't been our boss. That's the white woman and her man. They're going through that, and that's their business. We don't have any business being in that. They only introduced it to break down the civil rights movement. Civil rights movement started with the black man, the black woman, and the black child standing together, trying to plead for freedom, justice, and equality, and more benefits in the country that they had to have built. They threw the white woman in there with the women's liberation movement and made it a woman against man thing. That created a big separation between black men and black women, because then everybody started going for self. Then they bring the welfare system in and tell us in order to feed and clothe and house our children, we have to give up our man. You have to put the man out of the house. When the white farm wife goes to the government for subsidy for the farm, they don't tell her to get rid of the farmer, they keep that family together. But in the black community, they make it a requirement, because they want to keep endorsing into the black community that the black man is no good, and that he is not deserving of respect, he is not deserving of us letting him give us any protection or instruction, and that we are better than them. The major responsibility that the black woman has had on the earth for the trillions of years that we have been here has been one of nutrition and birthing children. Those two things have a great deal to do with the survival of any people, the reproduction of the nation, and feeding them the proper food so that they can live. Those are very important jobs. Those are very powerful positions, because it puts us in a position to decide who's going to live or die, and how slow they're going to die by what we feed them. We have a very powerful position. That's not a small role that we play. We have just been taught to misrepresent and misuse that power. The people who we have been counting on to give us the truth about how to get along have failed. The white people don't know how to get along. They don't have that information themselves. They don't get along with nobody on earth. So they don't have no information to impart to us about how we're supposed to get along. They change their relationship rules at will. We have, tons of black children around this country that I hear from who have grown up traumatized by the fact that they were referred to as the outside child. When we were having children like that, they called it illegitimate children, until the white woman started having them, and now it's single parenting. So they changed the rules according to what they're doing. So I've called on our people to change them depending on what we want to do, what our needs are. There's another need that has not been addressed in our community, because nobody will deal with it, and that's one that God did not create three sexes. We only have men and women. Now, I have not said that we should reject the sisters who try and act like men and the men who try and act like women. I'm not saying to reject them from among us, but they need to be taught. We don't have to accept that as some kind of normalcy, because that's not normal. But because now the white people are practicing that, when we were doing it, we were punks and faggots. Now that they're doing it, now it's an alternative lifestyle. I'm trying to demonstrate how They have set rules that they have forced us to follow that they don't even follow themselves. They change the rules to suit them when they get ready. We can change them to suit us when we get ready, especially if we have what we have now, which is a failing system. It hasn't worked for us. We don't have to.
Now, she said it all. And I asked myself this question: gods and goddesses, brothers and sisters, how far we come from? How far have we come from? The reason why I say this is because this video is old. This video ain't new. It's old. And for what I see in my neighborhood, that a lot of our black men and women are not together. They don't even show no type of affection to one another. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They don't show no affection towards one another. It is absolutely scary. It is absolutely scary. You see me show affection to my moms. You see me show affection to my brothers. You see when I'm showing posts about my family, I'm showing you affection. When I'm with my woman, my heaven, you see me showing affection? I'm showing affection. You understand? We gotta stop playing these games because you living through the system of things the way they telling you. Y'all believe so much in the system of things, you allow your homes to be destroyed. You allow your homes to be destroyed. Literally. For what? Tell me. For what?
What are we doing to destroy our men, to destroy our families? Because we don't know any better, or because we're too lazy, or because nobody has ever called on us to repent. And so then that led me to the study. And so as I was going along, initially I was keeping up with names and addresses and all of those things for that so-called research that they talk about. And then I found out that we didn't have a control group. There was not one set of Negroes that I could point at and say, well, these particular Negroes over here, they didn't suffer from the psychological trauma of slavery, so we don't have to deal with that. I found out that all of us had the same problems, and that we were not as different as we think we are. We are all doing the same things. We're all practicing the same patterns of behavior. A pattern is something that people follow because they think it's the right way to go. We have been doing it and approving that behavior between each other because we think, well, this is just how you do it. We have not represented our own ideas. We have not had anyone to represent our own ideas to us. The only place we have learned about how to be a woman or how a man is to be a man is on television. We haven't had that kind of a chance to study ourselves. The white woman has been the only woman we have had an opportunity to study every day of our life. On television, in every magazine we ever picked up, in every newspaper, on every radio. She's been the only model we have had. And if we think that that's not important, then we need to, look at that again. We have studied that, and we have made up and came up with requirements that the white people have set for us for our man. And if he cannot come up to those requirements, then we have decided that he is impotent and unable to be our man because he's disqualified, because he does not qualify by the standards that the white people have set up. We think a good, successful relationship is one where everything goes our way. The first time it stops going our way, then we got a serious problem. We want our man to do everything we tell him to do, but we don't want to do anything he tells us to do. Yeah, it's hard language. And all of our so-called educated class together have never come up with an agenda that brought the people together to try to improve their condition like the Black Man's Guide. Not a one of them have ever had a program that got all of the black people talking, got all of them out. Made everybody decide to make a comment, whether they wanted to or not. People are compelled to testify all over the country. I can't walk the street. See, we've never been examined, as I said, in the breakdown of every relationship. Each party in the relationship shares 1/2 the responsibility. That's 50% of the responsibility. So yes, the black man is 50% responsible for the breakdown of our relationships. And we are the other 50% half responsible for the breakdown of our relationships. And I ask black women, if you do not want to accept 50% of the responsibility, what percentage do you accept, and how does that behavior manifest? And I guarantee you it's already in my book. Because this lists things that we do. We've just never seen it in print. We've never had it out front. We've never been busted. But now we have the equality we've been crying for. They're busted, and so are we. I teach that slavery tampered with nature. When I say that slavery tampered with nature, I mean that a major rite of passage for every male mammal is to provide and protect for a female and her young. Now, certainly we know that the black man has been denied that opportunity. He has not been allowed to qualify to protect his woman or provide for them. They have told us that the only provision that the black man is qualified to give us is one of money. And we have made finance the major focus of our relationships with them. We have made the one thing that most of them don't even have be the criteria. We have been taught that if they do not give us money, that we are not to even allow them to be a father to their child.
All right, gods and goddesses, because of time, the battery's about to go out. I'm gonna cut this short, and once the battery's recharged, we will continue on this. So, on this segment, we're not gonna let this go, because even though this videos they old, about like 10 years old or even more, as I look around, I'm telling you, as I look around and see it, you don't see that harmony. The harmony. Once it be blooming, you see from young people. You know, when they're young, so they fill in their little oats. But you don't see black men and women in ages 30s and 40s with this harmony. Excuse me. The harmony. Trust me when I tell you this. It's not to hurt you. You got to shake these things up. And I'm using Shahrazad Ali as a narrator to tell you. It's in the books. I already have them. This is no game. This is real. I'm Chocolate Amun. I do want to say this to y'all. Listen. This ain't no game, y'all. This is the truth. And if the truth hurts, it's because that's how you want it to be played that way. Truth shouldn't hurt. You should recognize the truth and your strength and understand what's going on. Literally.